Alrighty, fellas. Sorry about the delay. I know week 4 has already started, but a bit of a busy work week this week. But this will be the week 3 recap video, and we'll start here with the GOAT and the WOAT as usual. So the GOAT this week was Grayson's team. He had 137 points. Not the strongest showing for a high score for the week, but Grayson got really good production out of both of his running backs. So solid performance there for Grayson. And then the WOAT team this week was Colt's team, scoring 100 points. That's pretty good for the low score for the week. So not too worried about Colts team. Christian McCaffrey is on pace to break so many different usage records. So it'll be interesting to see how Colts team continues to perform. So looking at the matchup results for week 3 here, Grayson's team took down my team. Jahmyr Gibbs kind of ran away with this one. And like I said, he got 2 solid performances from his running backs. With my team, Hunter Henry had a pretty big game, but unfortunately I lost James Conner for the rest of the season. Looking at the next matchup, this was probably one of the biggest sells I've ever seen in fantasy football history. Sam had a 17-point lead. It might have been 18-point lead, but 17 or 18-point lead with 51 seconds to go in the Monday Night Football game. And Lamar Jackson and David Montgomery combined to score enough for Maga Kitchens to move on to 3-0 and stay undefeated. The Minnesota defense performed really well, and they've looked really good so far, so I think that'll be a nice piece for Sam. And then for Maga Kitchens, like I said, Lamar and David Montgomery. Looking into the next matchup between Joe and Alex. For Joe's team, just kind of an overall underwhelming performance. Jamar and Zay Flowers kind of had rough weeks. And then for Alex's team, when you look at Alex's top 3 performers there, if Alex's top 3 performers look like that every single week, I think he's going to have a really good fantasy season because those are 3 really strong pieces for the rest of the fantasy season. And then the next matchup between Tim and Jack, this one was also a pretty crazy matchup. It was either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, ESPN came out with stat corrections, and because these guys originally tied, Monday night, these guys were tied. Tuesday morning, the standings showed them as tied, but the stat corrections came out, and Chase McLaughlin had a missed field goal that they didn't count. So Tim ends up taking the loss in this one, but Martin Hampton looked really good, so that's a good sign for Tim's team. And then for Jack's team, Jonathan Taylor had one of the best, not even just fantasy, just real-life performances out of a running back so far this season. And then this last matchup between both of the defeated teams came out with Jack winning by 2. This was a pretty close matchup the entire time. Sam Laporta just scraped out enough Monday night for Jack to get the win here. And then for Colts team, I think Colts team is still pretty strong. Christian McCaffrey, like I said, I don't know where I saw that, but it's just like the number of targets or the number of receptions or something like that is like going to break the record by far for a running back for most in a season. Looking at the standings, the top and the bottom are the 2 notable things for me. We'll be tracking how long Maga Kitchens can stay undefeated, and then we'll be looking at Colt down here, 3rd most points scored in the league. So strong team, just been on the short end of the stick quite a few times so far this season. Here are the positional rankings. Again, I'm just going to show them briefly. Pause if you want to take a look. And then the tight ends and wide receivers. And then the waiver results for this week. I don't really think there's any notable players here. Mark Andrews having 1.1 point and then having like 20 plus is pretty comical, but looks like Grayson scooped him up there. And then the upcoming matchups for this week, 2-2-1 teams between me and Joe. That should be a pretty good matchup to see who kind of puts themselves in good position for a bye, and with tiebreakers later on there, this could end up being a pretty big matchup down the line. And then Cal playing Tim's team, see if he can stay undefeated. And then Colt down there against Jack's team. If you get to 0-4, man, you're probably looking at like 8-2. You're gonna have to go the rest of the year if you want to make the playoffs. I'd put you at 8-6. So I think this is a big week for Colts team to get his first win. But that'll be it for the Week 3 recap video. The Trade 1 video will be out. I think I'm going to post these at the same time. And then the power ranking video I haven't started working on yet. So I'll be getting that out as soon as I complete it. So thank you guys.